Used to overcome language barriers is coming to Whitehouse ISD in the form of an earpiece. This technology was not originally developed for the educational setting, but as KLTV7's Christine Guevara reports, the school district is finding ways to use this technology to meet their needs.
The Time Kettle earpieces is a live translation device. Pedro Tamez is the ESL coordinator for Whitehouse ISD and says they purchased the product as there are over 20 different languages being spoken across the district.
We've been trying to find a way to really identify how to take an existing technology, to modify it, to implement into the classroom setting and at the front office level as well, to be able to communicate with parents who are not native English speakers.
The device has over 90 different languages to choose from. It can be used in any classroom setting by any student, faculty, or staff. The way it works is the earpieces connect to an iOS device through Bluetooth. Then, you and the person you are speaking with will select two different languages you both would like the device to translate to.
And it begins to translate conversation from two different languages simultaneously and also provides a transcript of the conversation.
We put it to the test between Tamez, who speaks English, and a Whitehouse ISD parent, Mario Pisano, who only speaks Spanish.
How are your students doing in school this year?
Bien. Muy bien les ha ido todo el año.
They have purchased 25 earpieces along with the iOS devices. They plan to receive the devices very soon.
I think that this is the most practical, the most economical, and the smartest way for us to plug in and fill a very, very significant need that we have noticed is exponentially growing from day to day.
Christine Guevara, KLTV 7 News.
And those earpieces will be unveiled next Tuesday at ESL Family Night. The event starts at 5:30 at Kane Elementary School. We're back with more news after this break.